Hi there, thanks for tuning in. I'm going to talk a little bit about this book that I recently republished as a second edition, Play Sports Right. And we're going to get a little bit into this book and tell you a little bit about it so that you can, think about getting it for your kids, read it for your kids. As a coach, maybe make it a present for parents. Many coaches, a lot of parents are really wanting to make a difference in the youth sports culture of today. We see too many helicopter parents and over-the-top coaches. But what we need is you, the good parent, you, the good coach, and players to kind of band together and show the right way, right? Know the way, show the way, and go the way. So this book, Play Sports Right Your Way, is really about getting athletes to understand that really it's their game. For a long time, I've been an advocate of, having everything be all about the kids. And it's really tempting as an adult to get ego involved in the performance of our players or our kids. It's just really tempting. I have had to kind of fight that same urge myself. But ultimately, when kids learn to play sports because they want to, and for all the right reasons, then we really got something. So let me read you an early review of the book. This comes from Linda LeClaire, who's a mental coach and author of the book, The Confidence Factor. She and her husband, Bryce Young, work with over 300 NCAA schools to help with the mental game there. So she says, I highly recommend Bill Patton's book, Playing Sports Right Your Way. This book is exactly what young people and their parents will want to read to navigate their lives through the world of youth sports. Insightful as well as entertaining. Thank you for that, Linda. Now, one thing that's new in the second edition is that Dr. Charlotte Alabaster offered to do a re-edit of the book to make it a little better readable, more palatable, all that good stuff. But now what I want to do is kind of run through what's in the book. So I think it's really important for you to know what you might be getting into. Let me kind of flip through here a little bit. But chapter 1 is sports as a place to experiment. We start with a quote from Alistair McCaw, who's one of the great coaches. Any of the greatest coaches first must be great listeners. I did not become a great coach until I learned to listen to my athletes. So what does a coach listening have to do with a player experimenting? Well, players have to be able to say what they want to try, and coaches have to be able to listen and respond to that. Chapter 2, sports as a part of the game of life. When we play life like a game, it's a whole lot more fun. And, a lot of the life lessons that we can get from sports really translate to life skills. So it's really important. And thank you for the airplane right there. So there isn't a lot of artwork in the book, but I do have some illustrations in there which are kind of fun, which show the kid on top and the parents and the coach in their rightful place, on the side, supporting the player. Chapter 3 is about how long it takes to grow up, which to a kid seems like forever, but it gives a different pathway for each age range that these young people are going to go through. And I'm just going to skip through the rest of the book pretty much here. There's a chapter on parents in the book and what would you expect to see from great parents. There's a chapter about competing with yourself, and just trying to become a little bit better than you were last year, a little faster, a little stronger, a little more skills. And then one of the major features of the book is that my mentor, Dan Brand, who, God rest his soul, he is now not with us anymore. But, shortly before his passing, he was able to contribute to this book. He was a 7-time national championship wrestler and participated in 2 Olympics, getting a bronze medal, which, I think it's funny. People would say, only a bronze medal? And then if that's what you're thinking right now, then I think you need a different mindset on that. But 7-time national champion, that's pretty impressive. And he was an ideal sports parent. He didn't really lord it over his kids in order to make them do what he wanted them to do. So we get into some things about decision making. Should kids continue to play the sport they're playing? How will they know if they're playing the right sport? What are some indicators that you're on a great team with good teammates? When is it really time to quit? How do you deal with pain? How do you deal with fear? How do you deal with being alone? Because some individual sports are very lonely. Some team sports can feel very lonely. But we get into all those things, and it's a conversation, and really it's a very personal story as well, because I get into my own story as an athlete, and how, at points of decision I actually made the wrong decisions and paid for those moving forward. But I'm taking the pain of what I experienced, and I'm trying to turn it into a positive thing for the youth. All right, so take a look. You can find it on Amazon. It's got 7 5-star reviews, and it's available as an ebook and a print book. So thank you so much for taking a look.